Hi guys, the sun's back out, so we're back on the gravel in my back garden. Today we're going to be looking at some deep ball footwork patterns. We've looked at moving forwards, we've looked at moving to the side, we've looked at the volley, and what you're going to notice is a lot of the patterns are very similar. You can apply the footwork to different ways of moving around the court, and if you get these right, you can move in all different directions. I've included some clips today from the 2012 US Open final between Murray and Djokovic. If you've got time, please watch the whole thing because it's fantastic to see loads of different movements in some really tricky conditions. So the plan today, I'm going to show you some movements, you're going to look at the clips, and the key is for you to practice it lots and lots of times. If you can with a tennis ball, but if not, just like me, just on your feet, just using the space you have. Remember, you can donate to the NHS by using the link in the YouTube channel. So just like the other shots we've worked on, there are a few reasons to use these footwork patterns. One is to make sure we get a great contact point forehand or backhand side. Two, that we can still generate some kind of power or maybe even some spin or precision. And thirdly, just so we can make sure we're in a great situation to get our recovery. You may be able to, on deep balls, just get behind the ball by moving your feet. So some balls will come deep, you'll be able to move back any way you want, set yourself, you'll be able to play the shot. We're going to be talking about today where you feel a little bit more rushed, you're on the move, and you have to use some footwork patterns to make sure you get those great contact. The first pattern we're going to look at today is going to be called the pivot. Now you'll see in the video clips you can do this in a sort of an open stance start or a closed start. We're going to be looking at open first. We're going to start looking at the forehand. So nice and simply, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be, imagine I'm playing forward, facing forward. I'm going to imagine the ball's coming in into my forehand, not too wide, it's forcing me back. Now because I'm looking at open stance, the first thing I'm going to do is get my right foot behind the ball. So I'm down low, ready to play, moving back, I've got my right foot behind the ball. Now, if the ball's in position, I might be able to just hit through the ball. But we're imagining that the ball's got more depth than it and it's pushing me back. I don't want to be forced back, so I'm going to just use some footwork to hold my position, keep my balance and be in a recovery. So from there, my right foot's going to go down. Now as I swing, here comes the pivot. I swing, turn on my left foot, and like in our previous sessions, I'm now in a position to push off on my left foot back and to recover. So all you guys are going to be doing is going from here, you're going to be going back foot there, right foot down from a right hander, pivot, left foot. And again, right foot, pivot, left foot. Trying not to lean back as you do it, trying to keep a nice balanced position. So right foot's down, balanced position, and through. From the side, so you get an impression of how I'm moving. Here we go. Right foot goes back, pivot. And again, there, pivot through. Still keeping my balance. As you get going, add a bit more movement into there. So starting in that ready position, take a few steps back, get planted, pivot, and the recovery. A few steps back, there, pivot, into that recovery. Backhand's the same, so get the same practice going. I'm two-handed first. Your left foot's going to go down as you swing, and it's the same time. You want to pivot so your contact point's in front. There's the pivot. You don't want to do this so that as you're pivoting, you're still getting contact behind the ball. You're using it so even though at the moment my contact will be late, by pivoting, my contact's going to come in front. If I show you that from the side, ball's coming in deep. Take that step. I'm imagining I'm going to contact here, but by using a pivot, that contact now is in front of me, which means I can do more with the ball. So here it is, step, and turn. Step, turn. Works one-handed as well. There, turn. Helps your rotation too. And turn. With a little bit more movement, here we go. And on the single hander, so that's our first set of movements using the pivot. As I mentioned, you can use a closed stance as well, which I'll mention briefly. You'll see Djokovic do this. It's where he's a bit out of position, he's trying to solve a problem. So we talked about in the wide movement, about some people coming here and then turning. Now see a clip of Djokovic, he's wide and deep, and what he does to get out of the trouble is instead of planting that foot where he's nice and stable, he's actually got himself in a run, running backwards, and he uses the pivot here to go deep and wide. Ideally you want to get your left foot down first to have more balance, but if you are on the run you can use that, so it's worth mentioning. Going behind the ball, using the pivot to turn. So get practicing that first pattern, and then we'll move on to the next one.
That's better from Djokovic.
So as I said, there's going to be similar patterns that we've already looked at, and that's exactly what's going to happen now, because we're going to be looking at the crossover step. We use this to go forward and to go wide. I'm going to use it to go deep as well. So, more of a closed position this time, so more side on. I'm going to be using the crossover step as I move back and as I play the shot. For the same reason, I'm looking to keep my contact point in a nice position that I can control the ball, and I'm looking to land in a position that I can recover. So I'm moving back. Again, I've got my feet planted ready to play, but instead of leaning back and trying to force it, I'm going to transfer my weight whilst playing. So I'm here, my feet cross over, I'm nice and balanced, I've played the shot, I'm ready to recover. See that again? So I've got my foot back, I don't want to lean, so I just cross my feet over and I'm ready to play. Now in the clips you might see as well, like we mentioned in the previous videos, sometimes it's not quite a full crossover. So it's there, the left leg moves towards the cross, but it just half does a side step instead. We're still putting that in the crossover category. So with a bit more speed, it's going to be here, move back, crossover, and into that recovery step. So from the side, that crossover, again, first step's that right foot, ready to swing, left foot comes across. Do that again, like swinging during the crossover, remember. So there's the step, I swing during the cross, which helps me get the contact in the right place. Just to show you when it doesn't quite cross over, that's just almost like a side step, but it's the same theory. There we go, I don't quite get the cross, I'm back in there. And you'll see a few of those on the clip. Backhand's the same, so two-handed or one, we'll go through them both. So here we go, of course it's my other foot that goes back first. I'm getting in that slightly more closed position, still semi-open but a little bit closed. Left foot's there, as I swing, cross over, ready to come back into that position. There it is, I cross over, my left foot's down, ready to push into the cross. Backhand, single hand, there's the step, I'm in that position, I cross over, one more time, there it is, cross over. I'll show you that single hand from the side so you can really see where the contact point changes. So as I'm here, if I play now, I'm hitting the ball over there somewhere to my fence. If I manage to, instead of hit, but I cross over, my contact's right out in front. For single, that's really important. There it is. Step, cross over, with two hands, step, cross over, ready to play. Backhand's the same, so two-handed or one, we'll go through them both. So here we go, of course it's my other foot that goes back first. I'm getting in that slightly more closed position, still semi-open but a little bit closed. Left foot's there, as I swing, cross over, ready to come back into that position. There it is, I cross over, my left foot's down, ready to push into the cross. Backhand, single hand, there's the step, I'm in that position, I cross over, one more time, there it is, cross over. I'll show you that single hand from the side so you can really see where the contact point changes. So as I'm here, if I play now, I'm hitting the ball over there somewhere to my fence. If I manage to, instead of hit, but I cross over, my contact's right out in front. For single, that's really important. There it is. Step, cross over, with two hands, step, crossover, ready to play. So both with a little bit extra movement. Let's go forehand first. So I'm getting back there, on the move, cross, push, ready to go. Straight into a backhand, there, cross, ready to play. Single hander, crossover, and I'm ready to play. So again, by using that crossover, I'm making sure my contact point doesn't get behind me, but it stays in front of me, so I can generate power and I can generate spin. You'll see in the clips that Murray and Djokovic, they use loads of different varieties of this. Sometimes it's a huge crossover, sometimes the feet just move together a little bit, but always they're keeping their balance and enabling themselves to recover. Enjoy the clips, and then we'll come back to look at the third way of moving. So if you've been following the other footwork pattern videos, you may have guessed what kind of pattern's coming next. They follow the same ideas as the wide ball and the short ball that we've looked at already. So we've done a crossover, we've looked at a pivot, so coming up next is a hop step. A hop step is always taking off and landing on the same leg. And when the deep ball comes in, it's often used when players are rushed or jammed up for space. So they'll still be ready to play, the ball's going to be coming in from the other end, and of course the ball's going to be coming deep. As with the other positions, they're still going to be starting with a forehand, right-handed forehand with a right leg down. Now, instead of crossing over or pivoting, what I'm going to do as I play here, I'm going to be taking off and landing on the same foot. And you'll watch with you see the clips, the players are trying to lose as little depth as possible. So if they could do it in an ideal world, they'd be taking off and landing in the same place. But because they're forced back often, they're quite often taking off in one position and landing a little bit further, but still able to push off and recover. Because remember, that's one of the main goals. So here they'll be turning, right foot down, hop, and back in position. Because remember, that's one of the main goals. So here they'll be turning, right foot down, hop, and back in position. As you can guess, the backhand is exactly the same. We'll start with two hands for this one. So we're turning, we get my left foot down as I play, because remember it's trying to move while playing so I can get the contact right. Take my left foot, land with my left, and I'm ready to go. It feels quite similar to the pivot. Pivot, I'll be loading and turning, but I'm not doing the turn, I'm just getting down, I'm landing, taking off, giving away as little court as possible and back in there. Single-handed, turn here, I'm down, land, back in there. Left foot down, land on the same foot, and go. So if you look at these from the side, you'll see that how I'm trying to not give away too much court. If I was really forced back and I turn, you may see the players, they're getting loaded on that step, and they may jump a good metre, 2 metres here, where they're swinging and they're planting their foot and they're really losing some court before they get back. But if they can, they're going to try and almost there just use the force to go up. They're not losing much court. Backhand's the same idea. They're getting there. They don't want to. They can if they want, but they don't want to lose too much court. They're trying to push that force up into the ball. So they go behind, trying to go up, back in there. Single-handed, left foot's down, and back into position. So if I do a couple with a bit of speed now, so I'm in there, I'm going to get back behind the ball, up, already pushing back behind, left foot, already pushing back, single-handed, left foot, landing and pushing back.
Too good.
And have a practice at all 3 different kinds of movement and experiment with a different variety. What you'll also find is you guys have your favourites, and if you watch more of the YouTube film I've given you, you'll notice that Djokovic and Murray have their favourites as well. For example, it took me ages to find for both players a backhand pivot. So they very rarely, both of those guys, use a backhand pivot. However, on their forehand side, they both loved using the pivot. Now that probably is because, particularly Murray's quite a side on with his backhand, he really enjoyed being here and either crossing over or landing on his left again. I had to find a ball where he was rushing forward and getting jammed up before he actually went to the pivot. So you all have your favourites, but remember the goal. The goal is to get great contact point, to stay balanced, and to be able to recover as quick as possible. Hope you've enjoyed the video today. Get practicing. As with all the videos, if you've got a friend at home, if you've got brother or sister, if you've got someone who will train you, get a tennis ball involved as well. But if not, if you're a bit lonely like me in the back garden, just get those footwork patterns practice. Because when you get back on the court, you'll see a real benefit to your game. Hope to see you soon back on court. Stay home, stay safe. See you soon.